Subway in Brownsville, Medina. Lord like Apollo, I follow like Athena. Keener, cleaner, just a few misdemeanors. Hit me in the heart, call professional cleaner. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am the lovely London girl. And in today's video, I'm just going to be talking about a few things that have been on my mind in the most recent weeks. And so before I get started, I want to say hi guys, thank you for clicking on this video, and if you like what you see and what you hear, make sure you subscribe and you click on the notification bell so you don't miss a video. I've been MIA for a while on this channel in terms of me being on camera. It's just because I am studying and I am in the last leg of my course, so bear with me guys. I will be back on camera very soon. YouTube's algorithm is all over the place as well, so if you're not posting regularly, it means people who are even subscribed to you can't see your videos sometimes. And so yeah, I'm posting my photography videos and my travel photos, so make sure you click and watch those. I will leave links down below in the description, and I might insert one in the card somewhere up here or there. But let's get started. So this is my face bare and clean. I washed it with some Korean skincare brand that I can't remember right now. So to moisturize my face, I'm going to be using Dr. Organic Bioactive Skincare in Royal Jelly. It's this one here. I got this from Holland and Barrett's on one of their sales. It's really, really nice. I like the smell and the way it makes my skin feel moisturized without being greasy. So now that I've finished moisturizing my skin, I'm going to move on to prepping and priming my skin, and I'm going to be using the Makeup Academy Pro Base Primer Spray all day long wear. And I got this yesterday from Superdrugs. There's like a 1/3 off promotion going on at the moment, so you can get these. I got this for like £2.33 I believe, and they're normally I think £5. So that's a really good deal, and I thought, you know what, I can't go wrong with, you know, wasting £2 if it doesn't work out for me. So I just got it. And I also got the cooling spray for when, you know, it gets really hot, because I sweat a lot. So if I can cool my skin down before I apply my makeup, that's really great as well. I haven't tried this out, but I'm sure there are plenty of reviews on YouTube, so definitely check that out. So as that's drying, so guys, let's talk about it. Jussie Smollett, Cardi B, BBL surgeries all over YouTube. Let's talk about it, okay? So let's talk about Jussie Smollett first. Now, I'm not going to go over the whole storyline because everyone has covered it on YouTube. Bigger YouTubers have covered it. I'm sure you guys know about the tea. But obviously, in recent days, he has come up to be found, well, innocent by way of his charges being dropped. So Jussie had 16 criminal charges against him, levied against him by the Department of Chicago, and they've all been dropped. So he put up a bail bond of $10,000. So the bail would have been set at $100,000. You only have to pay 10%, which is $10,000. He paid that, and it seems that he was putting out the story that he didn't use the 10 grand as a way to bargain himself out of custody and out of even, you know, proceedings, but it was just a thing of, we don't want to fight no more, have my money, I don't need it. Now it's actually coming forward that he agreed to $10,000 and to do 18 hours of community service. So it doesn't seem as clear cut as they're making it out to be. It doesn't seem as though there was no evidence to proceed from a grand jury to, you know, a full jury trial. And it, you know, his lawyer, you know, I have something to say about that anyway, but it seems as though he made a bargain, essentially. He made a bargain. I wouldn't call it a plea deal because he wasn't, you know, facing custody at that very moment, but it was definitely a bargain to get himself out of trouble. And you know what? I'm going to say something that might be a bit controversial. I am not mad at the fact that he did that, and I'll tell you for why. But first, let's do brows. These days I don't really do much to my brows, so I'm not going to really focus on them too much. I'm just going to kind of brush them through. I've been trying to nail this natural eyebrow look, and which basically entails me brushing them and not powdering my face too much, because I find that when my face is too full coverage, it looks a bit weird to have just bare brows sometimes. So I'm trying to work on
my style at the moment. And this spoolie I got from Primark. It's just double-ended. It's angled in one part and then a spoolie on the other. Got it from Primark for £1. If you're looking for makeup accessories, go to Primark. They have really good makeup accessories that you can use. They last long enough as well. And I mean, it's £1, £1.50 here. It's really affordable. For certain things like makeup sponges and brushes, you might want to kind of invest, but for things like to do your eyeshadow or like your eyebrows, I think you can afford to use Primark or cheaper brands because, you know, the difference is there, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's still good enough is what I'm trying to say. Now, the reason why I say I'm not mad that Jussie Smollett did this is because there are plenty of other people who aren't even celebrities who have been able to get off from a charge on account of their race. So I was watching videos on YouTube about this, and there were people, mainly of the Caucasian persuasion, who were angry and stating that he was using his black privilege, his gay privilege, to get out of the situation. And there was also comments about him using his rich privilege. I agree on the latter. He did use his rich celebrity privilege to get out of that situation. But he is not the first one, and he will not be the last one. Does it make what he did right? No. But why are we acting so surprised? This is not the first time a celebrity has used their influence to get out of a situation, get out of a sticky situation. Now, that person was saying, oh, this is justice for the rich. And, you know, I kind of shot back and said, he was basically saying he's using his privilege to get out of the situation. And I said, there are plenty of people from the Caucasian persuasion who have lied about worse and who have gotten people killed or in jail for decades. And they weren't rich at all, but they still were able to do that to another human being. And he shot back and said, yeah, but, you know, a poor white person wouldn't have been able to do this. And I said, their white privilege was their currency. And to that I didn't get another response. But that is my point in the situation. White people don't have to be rich to circumvent the rule of law. They just have to be white. And that's a tough statement, it's a big statement, but time and time again through history, we have seen people lie against black people about doing this or doing one thing or the other. Emmett Till is a perfect example. His accuser came out a few years ago saying she lied about it all. And he was dragged through the streets, disfigured and dismembered in his coffin. And she wasn't rich, she was just white. And you might say at that time in that era, it was different. White people had more power. You know, it was more of a racialized society. Now it's different. It's not much different today. You have barbecue Beckys calling the police on black people having fun in a park or in a public area. You have police officers slamming black girls to tables or to grounds. Times have not changed very much. Perhaps the way in which we are attacked, the way in which we are hated has been altered, but the hate is still very much the same and it's still very much potent. And so whilst I don't believe that Jussie Smollett is innocent, I don't think he is. I think he did it. I think he did it. The evidence just doesn't stack up in his favour. And in the words of Judge Judy, if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. And from the first time I heard his story about the bleach and MAGA country and people beating him up, I literally, my face was just like, this doesn't make sense. And this is before I had watched any of the videos regarding, you know, evidence analysis and body language analysis. Just from hearing the story fresh off top, I just didn't believe it because it just seemed so absurd. It just didn't make sense to me. So in that regard, whilst I can understand or appreciate that, you know, the evidence doesn't stack up in his favour and he might very well be guilty, I can still come to peace with the fact that he used his celebrity, as others have done in the past and will do in the future, to circumvent a negative outcome. And you know what? I can't be too mad. We'll chalk it up to the universe trying to balance itself out and restore itself, given all of the injustice and atrocities that happen, not only in the world against people of colour, black people, but also directly in Chicago, and how many murders and how many things that have been covered up. And I've listened to the podcast, the Wrongfully Convicted podcast with Jason Flom, and a lot of those cases talk about Chicago PD, or rather police departments that would coerce witnesses, or defendants rather, suspects, into confessions, false confessions, by lying to them that they had evidence that they didn't have. And in America, that's allowed. In this country, in London, in the UK, the police aren't allowed to lie to a defendant or to a suspect about evidence that they do not have. That confession would be void, and the defendant suspect will go free, essentially. So, you know, police officers have been quite underhand in the past in how they deal with cases, and so people don't even trust the police department in Chicago to even handle this adequately, as has been seen and criticised by Jussie's lawyer. She said that you shouldn't try people in the press. I agree with that. No matter who it is, what the alleged crime is, you never try a case in the press or a person in the press, because you're essentially tainting the jury pool. You want members of the public to then try Jussie Smollett in a court of law, but you're tainting the jury pool by trying it in public. But yeah, so that's my whole point and opinion on Jussie Smollett. Next, I'm going to move on to colour correcting, and then we'll do foundation and then eyeshadow, I believe. I'm going to be using the good old LA Pro Conceal in orange to colour correct. Yeah, make sure you guys let me know what you think about the whole Jussie Smollett situation down in the comments section. I'm sure you guys have opinions. There's so many opinions out there. It's a very saturated case. Some believing that he was innocent from the beginning. I'm sorry, I am not so gullible. I am far more jaded about these things than maybe other people. So I'm going to be blending this out with my beauty blender, which is not the cleanest, but don't watch that.
The way you are, your style of dress, I wish I didn't get so weak. Ooh, baby, just to hear you speak.
Okay, I don't know if I've done that right or not. But there, let's talk about Cardi B. Now, Cardi B has recently come under fire for saying some very interesting things on her Instagram videos. They were said a while ago, I believe, and now they're just coming back up because, you know, once something's on the internet, it doesn't really go away. That's why we all have to be careful, including myself, of what we say on the internet, because even if you didn't mean it in that way, it can come across that way, and it can be interpreted that way, and it can affect your future, and it can affect just, you know, how you're perceived and everything. So whilst I definitely say freedom of speech is important, you just have to be careful and have to be wise about what you're saying. Unfortunately, that's just how the world works at the moment. So before I go on to talk about Cardi B, I wanted to show you my foundation. So I'm going to be using the new e.l.f. or new-ish e.l.f. foundations. Don't watch my nails, please. And these are cruelty-free. I have one in truffle and I have one in mocha. So the truffle is described as rich with red undertones, and mocha is described as deep rich with warm red undertones. Now, from my analysis of myself, I believe I have warm, kind of golden undertones, maybe with a hint of red. So I think this is really good for my skin. It blends in really well, but I like the kind of warmth and, you know, glow from within this one gives. This one is a more of a true red undertone foundation, and this one is more on the burnt bronzier side, if that makes sense. Using a Real Techniques 200 brush, I'm just going to start with truffle on the inner parts of my face, and then I'll move on to using mocha around the perimeters, I believe. So Cardi B was kind of, well, she wasn't kind of, she was basically ranting about comments that people had made, I think after she won a Grammy for her album, and she was basically saying people don't know what she's been through to get to where she is. People just assume that she didn't work hard for what she's got. You know, she said she had to work hard for where she is right now, paying studio time for her money, with her money, sorry. And she said that you don't understand the things I've had to do to get here. And so she goes on to tell us what she had to do. And one of those things was essentially, allegedly, prostituting herself, entering into the sex trade, exchanging sexual favors for money. She went further to say that she was stripped in a club. Everyone knows she used to be a stripper, and then there were guys who would want to sleep with her, naturally. And so she was like, yeah, you want to sleep with me? Okay, let's go to the hotel. She said she would take them to the hotel, she would give them something, allegedly, and she would rob them. So this, of course, rang alarm bells in a lot of people's minds with regards to sexual assault and the whole Me Too movement. And it's kind of spawned a movement called Surviving Cardi B, following the documentary Surviving R. Kelly. Now, a lot of people are saying that if she was a man, that she would be arrested, she would be investigated, this would be a lot worse. And I have to agree. I have to agree that with the rise of mainstream feminism has come a movement of anti-patriarchy. There has come a movement of anti-men in general. And whilst I understand that if you look at rape statistics, women are more likely to be raped than men. Men tend to be the perpetrators in those types of sexual assault offences. So whilst that statistic is true to what we know, to the knowledge that we have and the data that they provide, patriarchy in and of itself isn't detrimental to women and matriarchy. If you believe in energies, I don't believe in energies, I believe in spirits. I believe that God made man and woman and he made us with a male spirit and a female spirit. I believe that we were designed to balance each other off. We were given different hormones, I'm not going to go into that, but we were made differently, separately, and we balance each other off. And I feel like mainstream feminism has, in a way, worked to demonize all men on account of the many or some that, pose as threats to women on a day-to-day basis, or other men on a day-to-day basis. I agree that if Cardi B was a man and she was confessing to these things, that it would be taken a lot more seriously. It seems that Me Too are focusing more on male perpetrators, because there was, in the recent past, a case of Asia Argento, I believe, allegedly having had relations with a boy who was underage at the time. And she had known him from when he was a young age. They had acted together in a movie, and apparently he came out saying that she was sleeping with him, allegedly, when he was underage. That kind of whole thing kind of blew over. No, there was not really much traction. We don't hear about that in the headlines. We don't hear about her being arrested, being investigated. There is no surviving Asia Argento. There is, there's no momentum for that case. And so I believe there is a bias against men, but I do also feel like that bias is understandable given the fact that men are the highest perpetrators when it comes to sexual assault cases on the data that they have provided us. And so what I would say to this whole situation is that when we compare this case to the case of Bill Cosby, for example, where Bill Cosby allegedly drugged women and then sexually assaulted them whilst they were under the influence of this drug, and Cardi B, who drugged men, I don't know whether she slept with them during, after, whatever, and robbed them. The key difference here, which doesn't make either one better or worse, but the key difference here is that the men in Cardi B's case wanted to sleep with her. Now, someone can want to sleep with you and still be raped. Just because a woman says yes and then says no 5 minutes later doesn't mean that the no is nullified by the former yes. But I'm saying that because it's ambiguous as to whether she slept with them or not, or whether she just drugged them and robbed them, so I can't speak necessarily, because if she had slept with them first under the influence of drugs and then robbed them as they were conked out and then left, they were walking into some fishy territory there. But if she just drugged them from the onset, they were out, gone, and then she robbed them and didn't touch them sexually just because they wanted to sleep with her and she drugged them but she didn't sleep with them, that doesn't make it sexual assault. It just makes it, I don't know, drugging. I don't know what assault offense that is in America, but it'll probably just be, drugging or something. So yeah, so the situation is a bit tricky. I do think that Cardi B needs to learn how to use social media and learn how to not be so combative and reactive to everybody who has something negative to say about her. When you're that famous so quickly, you haven't really had the chance to even understand how to behave in the public arena. Yeah, she was a reality TV star, but nowhere nearly as popular as she is now and as mainstream as she is now. So she just needs to learn how to take things on the chin and understand that not everybody is going to like you, and understand that everything doesn't have to be a battle with the world for you trying to explain yourself to everybody and what you had to do. But now that I've done my foundation, I hope I blended it all properly. Sometimes when I go back to edit, I realise that I haven't, and it's a problem. But now that I've done that, I'm just going to use my e.l.f. 16-hour camo concealer. I have this in the shade Rich Chocolate, and I'm going to use this underneath my eyes. Hopefully I won't use too much. So, BBLs and YouTube. Let's talk about it. So, since, let's say the last year maybe, or even last 6 months, there has been an influx of YouTube videos about the BBL. Should I get the BBL? I want to get the BBL. I've gotten the BBL. And whilst I am an advocate for everybody wanting to doing what they want to do, we have to assess, I'm being very careful, we have to assess the message we're creating, or the message we're telling the younger generations about body image and self-love. I can understand a woman wanting to get her pre-baby body back, and for that I can't say anything. I can't say, oh, you've had a baby, accept your body, because there's nothing wrong with a woman wanting to have her old body back that has changed since having a baby. I think my issue is where people have a body that in general senses is a fine body, but want to change it to look like the trend of beauty or the current standard of beauty at the moment. Now, I hear you. Who are you to say that someone's body is fine the way it is? Who are you? It's their body. If they don't like it, they can change it. How can you say their body is fine when they don't feel like it is? I hear you. I hear you, sis. I hear you. But this is the argument I make to my friends all the time. If the standard of beauty in today's time was a woman to have a boxy shape, let's just fathom for 1 second that a boxy body shape, square waist, no hips, just box, was the standard of beauty. Some women have that shape and they carry it very well. But if that was the standard across the board, as that's the optimum beauty of a woman. If Kim K was box shaped and she was popular as she is now, women will be rushing to go and get surgery to mimic a box shape. If the optimal shape of a woman was a triangle, like this, upside down triangle, just out, women will be rushing to the surgery rooms to get that shape. If the standard of beauty across the Western world was women with no hair or short hair, women would wear short hair. And I'm not saying this to say that women don't think for themselves, they follow trends, they're not, they want to please men. But psychologically speaking, it's true. We don't wear makeup because it makes us look worse. We wear makeup because it makes us look better. Yes, we're doing things for ourselves. It should be for ourselves first, but we always get affirmation and confirmation of our intrinsic thoughts from the outside. If no one, the question I want you to ask yourself is, if no one could see you, if there was no Instagram, if everyone was blind, would you still do your hair like you do your hair? Would you still wear what you wear? Would you still wear your makeup the way you wear your makeup? If no one could ever appreciate your beauty and see the effort that you make on an everyday basis for your whole entire life, would you still look the way you look and make the effort that you make? Most people would say, yeah, of course I would. But really deep it, really deep it. Would you really, if no one could ever give you a compliment because they can't see you, they can't perceive you, it's like you're blind to everybody for your whole life, would you look the way you look? And I think the genuine answer is no. Genuine answer is no. But women are on the defense because men have always, for the most part, attacked women for wearing makeup, wearing weave, wearing this, doing that, showing your cleavage. Oh, it must be for a man. So whenever a woman even wants to talk about beauty, hair, the way she looks, she's always on the defensive, first claiming that she does it for herself. Yes, we should be doing it for ourselves first, but let's not lie and say that we're not also looking for or expecting or hoping or appreciative of external reinforcement. We know that representation matters. We know that encouragement matters. If it matters for a child to be seen in the media, for a young black boy or girl to see black doctors on TV, black lawyers, for them to be inspired to attain higher things in life, if we can understand that external reinforcement is positive for them, and their beauty, their looks being reinforced by the actors they see on TV, Lupita Nyong'o, Nima Tang on YouTube, Alec Weck in the model world, Naomi Campbell, Leomi Anderson, all these people, if those people don't matter, if you're saying that external reinforcement, then we might as well just pack it all in and go home. We have to acknowledge the fact that representation matters and affirmation and confirmation of your internal factors matter.
But we stayed in the struggle. sprayed into trouble. While you on the street, I'm on tour, we made that.
So that's a concealer. I'm not going to use concealer on my forehead because I just feel like that is redundant. I'm going to move on to setting my face, doing some eyeshadow, some contour, and then calling it a day. And so, yeah, going back to the argument, I feel as though the fact that so many women are doing BBLs, talking about doing them, I feel like that's purely from wanting to be validated from an external factor. They might be doing it for themselves, but to not acknowledge the fact that you're being influenced externally about your choice, I think is being disingenuous. And some YouTubers have just said outright, look, I just wanted a BBL, I just wanted a big bum. I wanted a bigger bum, I wanted that shape that everybody is fawning over, so I did it. That's honesty. But for people to kind of skirt around the topic and be like, oh, well, you know, I'm doing it for myself, no one else, I'm not influenced by any external factor, it's a lie. Where did you get your reference picture? Where did your reference picture come from if it wasn't external? How did you know the shape you wanted if you hadn't seen it before? You know, when you go to the doctor, you show them, I want this, and they give it to you. So where did you get your pictures? You know, I feel like that's a bit disingenuous. To set my under eye, I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier setting powder. One YouTuber that I will commend for not getting it done, although she wanted to, is Nella Rose. Nella Rose, this is a while back, but she made a video talking about how she wasn't going to get the BBL, although she had the money, she had like the place set out, she knew what she wanted, who was going to get it done, how much it would cost. But she stopped and she thought about her influence. She thought about her subscribers and all of the young women that watch her and look up to her. And she said that if I get this done, I'm going to be influencing these young girls to think that it's okay to just fix something that you don't like without going through the work to loving yourself. And I really commend her for doing that because she has a presence on YouTube and an influence over a lot of young black women. And I feel that her being able to get the BBL, to get surgery, and choosing not to, shows more strength of character than someone who had the opportunity and who didn't want to go through the grappling journey of loving themselves and chose to get the surgery. Because if we're telling the younger generations to love themselves and to accept their beauty the way, it's like it's like a YouTuber like me, for example, who has made videos about dark skin in the past, dark skin pride, dark skin confidence, and then I go and now bleach, and I say, oh, yeah, me bleaching has nothing to, you know, nothing to do with my message. I'm still pro, you know, loving yourself, pro dark skin pride, pro dark skin confidence, but I'm bleaching. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. For contour, I'm going to use powder. I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro contour powder in Deep. Looks like this.
The way you are, your style of dress, I wish I didn't get so weak. Ooh, baby, just to hear you speak makes me argue just to see how much you're in love with me. See, like a queen upon her throne. It was the sweetest thing I've known.
So I've done my eyeshadow, guys, and I put on my blush. I'm just going to put on some mascara. So I'm going to be using my MUA Shimmer Highlight Powder in Golden Afterglow. Golden yellowy highlighter.
I tried to explain, I can't explain it. I can't explain it. But baby, it's in vain. I met him on the subway in Brownsville, Medina. Lord like Apollo, I follow like Athena. Keener, cleaner, just a few misdemeanors. Hit me in the heart, called professional cleaner.
So guys, this is the look that I came up with. I hope you like it, and I hope you enjoyed what I spoke about today in this video. I feel like it's really important to talk about these topics to hopefully give a different opinion to what's already out there. If you did like the video, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button, and don't forget to click on the notifications bell so you don't miss any uploads that I upload in the future. Thank you for watching, and remember, love yourself and be free.
We made
I hella heat fine, and you held mics divine with every cat singing with you one time. You was the meatiest dish, locked in a media ear, calling me your little Brownsville Swedish fish.
more times than I done got hot trying to date you. You know I never meant it when I told you that I hate
And
you.
so during our term, everyone tried to beat us. I keep you in my heart, you was always the sweetest.
If I should lose you, the stars would fall from the sky.